Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel and this is Lawn Care Life. Today I want to show you how to get rid of a weed in the crack of your sidewalk, maybe a gravel driveway, wherever the situation is and you need to get rid of a weed. And I'm going to show you both what would be called a DIY natural way versus kind of like the chemical way, what a commercial lawn care company would end up using. So we're going to test both, do kind of a side-by-side study. I expect both to work, but I want to show you the products and we're going to spray it. We're going to watch the progress and see how well they work, how fast they work, and talk to you about the whole process. Today's video is sponsored by my friends over at Graham Spray Equipment. If you're in the weed control and fertilization business, need a spray rig, go check out grahamsc.com, Graham Spray Equipment over in Douglasville, Georgia. There is my Graham spray rig there on the back of my truck. All right, so the weeds, and you got situations like this. Like I said, it could be a gravel driveway, it could be whatever, but this is very, very common where you got cracks here, and look at there, that's crabgrass popping up, or all these weeds. So you want to kill the weeds for one. I mean, you could just, whack them down with your string trimmer, weed eaters, whatever you call it, and that would, get rid of it temporarily, but it's going to grow back. So what can we do to kill the weed, root and all? And then I want to also talk about, maybe what can we do to keep it from coming back where it's not a problem in the future for at least for some time. All right, so let's find our contestants for today. And I want to start with natural weed killer. If you don't want to use a chemical herbicide, then you can use something like vinegar. Now, I've done videos before where you go out there and you spray dish soap and salt and vinegar and it will kill the weed. But when you use a stronger concentrated vinegar, then it's going to be more effective. So I can put a link in the description to some of these products. And so this is what I'm going to spray on one section of weeds, is just straight up vinegar. Nothing added to it. No dish soap, no salt, just straight vinegar. And the weather is hot. I expect this to work quickly, but we're gonna, watch it on video to see how fast it works. And the other mix, as I said, is gonna be a combination of products that I would use often if I was trying to kill weeds, and not only kill them, but also hopefully keep them from coming back for a long time. So, many of you heard of glyphosate. Obviously, it's somewhat controversial, and I understand if you don't want to use a chemical herbicide. Like I said, I'm showing you the vinegar option. This isn't making a statement on which one you should use or not use, but you see here, this is 41% glyphosate, so it's the active ingredient in Roundup. This is a generic glyphosate product, and that's going to just kill the weed, but it's not going to do anything as far as keeping it from coming back. Neither is the vinegar, in my opinion. It's going to kill the existing weed. It doesn't mean a weed might not come back in its place. But that's where this product comes in. You see, this is called SureGuard, and what this does, now this is going to be a little more pricey. I mean, this is not that expensive, that's not that expensive. This one's a little bit more expensive to buy this jug. I'm not sure, maybe $200 or something. And I know some of you are going to flip out when you hear that, but you only put 1/4 ounce per gallon of water in a little sprayer, okay? So it goes a long, long way. So what you can do with it, you put the glyphosate in there to kill the weed, and then the SureGuard is going to help it kill the weed, but more importantly, going to keep stuff from coming back for a long time. So you can imagine if you had this whole crack in your driveway and you came down here and you just got sick of weeds, then you just spray the whole thing with SureGuard, and it's going to keep the weeds out somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 months probably. If you had a big gravel driveway that was just covered, you can just blanket the whole area and keep weeds out the whole time. Like a situation like this, I'm not sure that we want to not have anything grow here, but let's say that was your whole driveway was gravel and you don't want anything growing. You're sick of it. You got an outdoor fire pit or something, gravel around, you're sick of weeds, and you just spray them but they keep coming back, and you spray them, they keep coming back. That's where the SureGuard comes in. Spray it, mix with glyphosate, maybe 2 to 3 ounces of glyphosate per gallon of water with 1/4 ounce of the SureGuard per gallon of water, and that's gonna really keep it from coming back for a long time. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we've got some weeds here that have volunteered for this experiment. We're gonna take one section of them and spray with the vinegar. We're gonna take another section of them and spray with the combo glyphosate SureGuard. See which ones work fastest. Now we're not going to extend this video off 4 to 6 months to see if they don't come back thanks to the SureGuard. But from past use, I can assure you, it does a great job of keeping stuff out. Now what it doesn't do, let me just show you right here, it does not keep stuff like this, like your Bermuda grass is actually running over onto the concrete. You know, or sometimes Bermuda or your grass might be creeping up into your flower beds. It's not going to keep it from creeping in there, but like annual weeds is going to keep those, you know, it can kill it. You know, the glyphosate can kill that, but you need to maintain those edges with a string trimmer or something to keep the actual grass from creeping back in there. But, or you're just going to have to keep spraying it. But yeah, this is also a combination, can be used in flower beds as long as you don't get it on any desirable plants, and you don't want to be spraying SureGuard in an area where that you want to plant like seasonal flowers later, because it's not going to do very well if you've already sprayed that area with SureGuard. But large pine straw areas, mulch areas, then definitely can help keep them clean for a long period of time. All right, so let's get to spraying. I've already got the SureGuard and glyphosate mixed up together. I'll spray that second. The vinegar, I need to pour it in my sprayer. Again, nothing added to it, just straight up 45% vinegar, and then we'll spray the weeds and we will check back on the results. All right, whatever product you're using, of course you want to wear PPE, follow the label. I've got my rubber gloves on, rubber boots, long sleeve shirt, long pants. But I'm going to go ahead and mix the vinegar in this. Like I said, I've got the SureGuard and glyphosate already mixed up. I'm just putting I know you can't smell it on the video, but it definitely smells like vinegar. So I'm gonna spray that first. What I'm gonna do, there's a crack in the driveway here. I'm gonna spray to the left of this crack is gonna be the vinegar. To the right of the crack, I'll spray the glyphosate and SureGuard mixture. Let's get started spraying. I want to make sure I get good coverage when I spray the weed, because it's basically gonna burn the leaves up, and so I want to make sure I get it good and wet. I'm not trying to drown it, but I want to make sure I get good coverage on the weed. All right, that's enough sample weeds for that. Now I'm gonna spray the ones on the right side of the crack with the SureGuard glyphosate mixture. Like I said, I've got a 1/4 ounce per gallon of the SureGuard, and 2 to 3 ounces of the glyphosate is more than sufficient to kill weeds in this situation in the crack of a driveway. You can use a little hand sprayer, you can use a backpack sprayer like this, doesn't matter. All right, we got a spray. We're gonna check back on the results, see which one works faster and all that. Just giving you options, whether you wanna be a natural weed killer option or you wanna go the chemical route. Both can work. Obviously the chemical route is gonna have more longevity, but this will be a good side-by-side comparison. Hot summer weather is gonna make them work faster. When it's colder, neither one are gonna work as fast, most likely. We'll check back on the results. All right, so we've been about 36 hours since the initial application. I want to show you some pretty interesting developments since that time. So I sprayed it late one afternoon and didn't come back and check on it the next day, but now it's the following morning, so a day and a half later. And we're gonna look at what was sprayed with the vinegar first. And you can see, I mean, very quick results on these weeds. still got a little bit of green left in it, but look at this. Very little green in that. So, extremely fast results and fairly effective. All right, now what about the what was sprayed with the glyphosate and the SureGuard? Again, this is nothing about, it's not always a race to see which one's the fastest is going to be the best, or this isn't really a video determining which one's the best, because there's going to be some, you know, pros and cons to each. But this was the glyphosate SureGuard mixture. You can see significantly more green. Now, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I have no doubt in my mind that these are going to die as well. But if you are going for speed of results, then it's pretty clear that the vinegar did work faster in this situation. So what we're going to do is give it a little bit more time, come by and check, and just see how long it does take for the glyphosate to kill these weeds. Again, the main advantage of that mixing with the SureGuard is it's going to keep them away for a long time, where the vinegar, you know, it's not going to do anything to prevent future weeds from coming back, but definitely very effective on getting rid of these existing weeds. So we'll check back soon. All right, it's been about 3 days since the initial application. Let's check on the results and see how things are going. First, the ones that were sprayed with the vinegar. You can see here, the ones that are dead are, you know, of course, still dead, no problem with that. What I'm concerned is that some of these, it burned them, but it didn't actually, you know, a little bit of green tissue starting to come back. So like this one, it burned real good, but you can see how it's starting to sprig up some green again. I think same with that one. So I think you gotta really burn it really good where there's no green left, so it'll die, because if there's any green left, I think it's gonna start to bounce back. Now the ones with the Roundup, or the glyphosate and the SureGuard, they are still dying, but we're gonna keep checking on it and see how it goes. So this is the 3-day update. You can see how everything's looking. So we'll keep checking back and see if we can make a final conclusion. I think we need a few more days. All right, we're back for our final checkup on the experiment where we sprayed straight vinegar on some of the weeds and we used glyphosate and SureGuard on some of the others. And we're gonna draw some conclusions. Probably been about 1 week since the initial application. So let's make our final checkup. First, the weeds with the vinegar. And you can see here, looks like it was a small patch of crabgrass, basically dead. This dead. I think that one's pretty much dead. But some of the larger grassy weeds, and this is what I was afraid of with this one. When we saw it last time, it had a little green tissue, and now it's coming back. So doesn't mean it didn't work, because I mean, you can see it definitely works on that one, definitely worked on that one. I mean, it's working great. It's just this one, I don't know if I didn't get good enough coverage, or it's just a larger, more mature weed. And in that situation, you know, it may just take a second application to finish it off. So it's, again, it's not meaning it's not effective. It just didn't get it on the first try. Now, in that situation, the weed is starting to recover, so you have to spray it again, or it's going to come back and be at maturity soon. Same thing with this one. Still has a little green tissue in it. And that one looks like it pretty much killed it. So I would say good results on those. And then we go over to the ones with the glyphosate application. Oh, let me show you these two. So, you know, really good on that one. Even this large mature weed is just dead. So that's excellent results. Looks dead at least. Now the ones with the glyphosate, again, this was kind of what I was expecting. I mean, and we can let this go on for another week or so, but those are taking a little bit longer, but they're continuing to deteriorate as the experiment goes on. So this, you know, these are actually looking worse than they did last time, worse from the standpoint of the plant is continuing to die. So even though this one here is not completely dead yet, I believe that if we continue the video on for another week or so, that it would eventually die. Maybe wrong, maybe it would bounce back too, but I think that this damage has been done and these are going to continue to die. And the SureGuard, like I said, it's going to kind of keep stuff from coming back along this crack where it has been sprayed for about 4 to 6 months. So, so you can see the results here and see what it did on smaller weeds. Of course, it's going to be easier to control in that situation. I even sprayed some up here as well, and you can see similar results. All right, so what can we learn from this? Well, they both are effective. The vinegar seems to actually give faster results if you want super fast results. The glyphosate probably is gonna be more of a one-shot kill in my opinion. It may sometimes take 2 shots even with that, but the vinegar may take 2 shots on some of them. The SureGuard, like I said, it can also help work as a post-emergent, help kill the weed, but mostly I put that in there as just a way to keep stuff from coming back in the future. So, you know, hopefully just a way to you can look and see the results yourself. Very similar results. One's a chemical application, the other's using vinegar. So it's not really to say this one's better than the other one. It's just a different approach to doing things. I understand that there's an audience for both. Some people want to use one way, some people want to use the other, so I just thought I'd do it side by side. I'm Jason Creel. If you like these videos, there's over 600 lawn care videos on the channel, and I would encourage you to subscribe if you want to continue to follow the channel. And then you can go to lawncarelife.com. There's a lot of resources for those in the lawn care business, weed control and fertilization resources, mowing resources, mosquito business resources, a lot of resources. So appreciate you watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.